there, everyone, and welcome to Work in Progress Wednesday, and welcome to my coloring corner. Of course, you're with Renee, and we're going to try to work on this one. Well, I'm going to try to work on this one and get it all finished up sometime today or tomorrow. I've gotten the bottom part done. Now I just got to do the background, so it shouldn't take too much longer. And of course, I have somebody visiting, of course. That's wonderful. Who is visiting? I just got to put the chat up here so I can see what people are saying. But this picture is a picture done by Jade Summer from the book. Let me see. I have it written down because I won't remember otherwise. Just got to remember where I put it. And of course, I couldn't possibly have had it out and ready because, that would just be no fun whatsoever. So it is out of the book Art Nouveau, if you didn't already know. And I did the dark skin, excuse me, the dark skin tones with the woodless colored pencils, the dark skin tone colored pencils. And the rest of the picture, I have been working with the Saison or Saison colored pencils that I reviewed on Monday. And of course, a couple of others, like, for example, up here are the woodless metallic colored pencils that I have also reviewed on the stream at some point. I think it was last week, just before Christmas or something like that. But yeah, so we'll get started on this here in a minute. Waiting for a couple more people to come in and say hello. One of the new things on the channel that we've been doing is, of course, our introductions, and I have changed them since Christmas, since New Year's. So I hope you're enjoying those. We have hit 300 subscribers. Absolutely flabbergasted and so honored that you have all chosen to subscribe to the channel and hang out with me. And I really, really hope that you continue enjoying the channel and the videos. As you have noticed, I have been putting up some bonus flip throughs, and the bonus ones that I've been putting up and will continue to put up are new books that have just come out, not just new to me, but brand new to the market. So if you see a bonus feature come up or a bonus video come up, more than likely those bonus videos are of a flip through of a brand new book that just came out. So if you're looking forward to, for example, today I did Fabrica Fantasies, Dragon Tales, as well as Christine Caron's Fairies and Fantasies 2. Excuse me. So if you were looking for those videos, of course they are in the bonus folder in the playlist area. I also did Camelia Anjakova's new book on princesses as well. And then tomorrow I actually have a couple more bonus ones that might come out either tomorrow or Flip Some Fun Stuff Friday, depending upon if the things that I have coming in are available or here before Flip Some Fun Stuff Friday. I have a couple of things that I ordered that I want to show y'all. So if they don't come in before then I will do the flip videos then, the special flip videos. If they are here before then I will be doing some fun stuff instead. I've got 2 visitors and I don't know who they are because they haven't said anything. I've had 3 or 4, but they keep on running away. It must be me. So I'm just going to start, and I'm just coloring different areas here. Right now I'm just coloring a rock. And the rocks have this different little splotchy areas, and I'm coloring them as if they're covered in moss. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but that's the way I like to do it. I like to make them look all mossy. See, like down here. I'm going to switch you over to the other camera and turn on the light so that I can see what I'm doing. So that is awfully dark. Let's fix that. I don't know why it went so dark. There you go. That's better. And maybe pin you down a little bit so that you can see what I'm working on. Okay, so as you can see, I'm working on this rock here in the back here. And down here, I've already done these rocks the same way, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm just covering the little moss areas with the mossy color. It's a green-gray color. It's a really good color. Excuse me. I do not know why I suddenly have a frog in my throat. It's really starting to annoy me. And now I just have to find the gray color that I need. And I may have put it back in my bag. Because every once in a while, especially when I do a video, and it doesn't look like it, I put the pencils back in the bag after I've done the video. And I did a video while I was still coloring this, and I put all the pencils back in the bag, I think. And then I have been slowly bringing them out, and I thought I had it out. There it is. Could have swore I had them out. There's the other one. Yeah, there we go. So what is everybody else working on today? I hope you all have a wonderful work in progress going on so that you can color with me. Well, if anybody ever comes to visit. If not, that's fine too. I'll color for a little while, and if anybody comes to visit, then we can have a chat, and if not, that's fine too. One of these days when we have some people visiting, we need to go through and figure out the best way to do the Work in Progress Wednesdays. If you guys enjoy the live chats, or if you rather just do it as a recording, that would definitely be preferable. So you know, if that is preferable to everybody, that would definitely be something that we could do instead of the live chats. We can do a work in progress video instead. All right, so I'm going to do the greens for Of course, my dog is being all fussy, so you're going to hear some jumping around. So we're just going to do the greens here in the grass here. All right. Just adding a bit of this light green. And then we'll, of course, fill it in with a darker green. And I might have to actually grab a different green. Yeah, there we go. And grab my sharpener. And of course, I'm shaking the desk, so it's gone a little wobbly on you. And then I'm just going to fill in this grassy area here. Okay. I'm telling you, I really need to take her and get all those nails chopped off. She just clip clop, like a little horse. So that or else I've got to carpet the kitchen, whichever. I really don't want to carpet the kitchen, so I think we're just going to have to take her in and get her nails clipped. She doesn't like having her nails clipped, so. And with COVID, where we take her to get her nails clipped, because she doesn't like it so much, and she is such a big dog, I take her to the vet because the groomer will not clip her nails because she gets very, very indignant. And so I take her to the vet to do it, and the vet sedates her. But because of COVID, you can't go in with your pet. You have to pull up to the back door, basically, and somebody comes out and takes your pet out of the car and runs off with it. Well, my dog is got a bit of separation anxiety, and that's not going to fly very well with her. So we'll have to see how that goes. We may not be taking her to the vet. It all depends upon how irritable she becomes with taking her in. Like I said, she gets quite indignant with it and very upset with the fact that she's being removed from the car without the mummy. All right. So I'm just going to color the staff here of her weapon. Her spear, not quite sure what you want to call it. I think it's a spear. It's got a very large stone head on it. All right. And then we'll give it some happy sand in the back there and then decide what we're going to do with that sun. I think it looks like a high noon sun, so we may just do a blue sky with clouds and that sort of thing. And do some happy little clouds. And I'm just filling it in, putting in different shadowing areas for underneath um, the arrowhead here. It has some decoration there, as well as the arrowhead or spearhead, I guess it would be, as well as some different layers of sinew or leather, whichever you want to call it. Just giving the edges some color. All right, now we're going to take this one, which is a little bit of a reddy brown, I do believe. That's the thing about having the colors just numbered. I have my color chart here, but most of them I have pretty much figured out what colors they're going to be before I start coloring with them, because I've used them for a while, and you know how things get. When you use things over and over again, you can just definitely understand what colors are going to be. Sometimes you get a surprise, though. That's never any fun. I have grabbed a colored pencil thinking, oh, that's going to be a nice brown, and it turns out to be a bright red, and that's always irritating. This is a tanny brown color, almost a yellowish kind of brown, and it works really well with these darker browns and the reds to make that worn wood look where people's hands would have been. And there we have the staff colors. I just don't like the way it's focused. There we go. Give you a little bit more light there. Don't know why it keeps on changing the light color, if it's because I keep on moving the picture and doing different areas. Not absolutely certain why it's doing that, and it's kind of really annoying. We're going to actually take this green, and the reason why I'm taking this green is because it's got a nice dark color to it, and when I go over it with that tan color, it should give a really good shadow without turning it a different color of brown. Instead, it just looks like wet leather, that leather color. Sort of like that. Gives it a different color than the rest of the staff, but it still gives it that leather color. Now we're just going to take this creamy color, and I'm just going to go over it just to blend it in a bit. Do apologize, my dog is choking on her water. She does that sometimes. She'll take a drink of water and then she'll cough out, and sit there and hack on it for a little while. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing up here, and just gonna I'm not going to put in a lot of the color. I'm just putting in enough in to make it look like there's a shadow there with a different tone. The same with this straw area. Just going to give it some shadow. Now, the one thing I love these woodless colored pencils. The one thing I don't like about them is they are a really thick core. So when you're getting into really small areas like that, even if you have a fairly good tip on it, sometimes it just doesn't want to go into those really, really tiny, tiny spaces. But that's the only thing I dislike about them. I just love the way they lay down. They are so smooth. Just fantastic pencils. Absolutely fantastic pencils. Okay, so now we're going to take that brown I was just using, if I can find it. There it is. Okay, just gonna go over this yellow just a little bit around the edges, just to give it that worn look. Make it a little bit warmer than just that yellowy color. And there we go. And that is our wooden part of our staff. And of course, you end up sitting there going back and forth and doing little extra things as you notice them. And I still have one person watching, just not chatting, so she must be on her TV. All right. So I'm going to do this part here. Now I'm going to do it with grays, but I'm also going to add a bit of silver if I can find my silver pencil, just to give it that you know what I'm talking about. Metallic look, like that weapon look. And for some reason my silver isn't in here. I must have put it back in here. And I did. No, that's rose. Yeah, I did. There's silver. No, that's carbon fiber, which is just as good. And this one here must be silver. Yes, okay. Okay, so I'm going to use these two as well as this lighter gray that I have in here. There it is. Because this is a stone, it's going to have a little bit of darkness in the carved areas. Now I just need a pencil sharpener, so just give me a second here while I grab my pencil sharpener, because for some reason I have put it away. Probably because I cleaned off my desk and thought, well, I don't need that right now, so we'll stick it in here. Well, wasn't that silly of me? Because You always need your pencil sharpener out. And I do have the crank sharpener out, but I find it, even though these are meant to go in a pencil sharpener, I get worried about gumming up the sharpener with them, with the woodless color pencils. So now I've sharpened this to an extreme point because I don't want, because this is the dark carbon fiber color, I don't want a whole lot of it. I just want enough to follow the lines of the carving. Because remember, this is a stone. It's not a metallic, it's a stone. So what I'm doing is I'm just following along the edges, following a line along that carving line where the chisel has dug in to the stone. Now I'm going to grab my brush, because if I don't use my brush, I'll use my hand, and then I'll wipe it all over the place, and that's never good. Now I'm just going to use a little bit of this silver, and once again I'm going to sharpen it to an extremely fine point, and I'm just going to go down a little bit from the tip on the carbon fiber just to lighten it up just a little bit, and it will help lighten up a bit of the gray as well, just to give it that look of the sun hitting it a little bit, and to remind us that that's a weapon. And we're going to use our gray. We're just going to drag that down a little bit. And I'm going in strokes because I'm trying to leave enough texture on this to show that it's not a metal, to show that it is dimensional. And if I burnish it too much, it's going to lose that gray undertone. It's going to lose that color underneath. So I'm going to take a little bit of the metallic blue, and I think I'm going to use, is this one, what's this one? No, that's aquamarine. I don't want that one. And I'm just going to put a little bit of blue in it, just to give it that undertone. So when you go over with the gray again, it'll blend it in. And leaving that white spot in there gives that pitted look like a piece of stone. Sort of like that. I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. That is really starting to bug me. I am really sorry, guys. I know there's not a lot of you here, but at least, the camera can stop doing that so you can actually see things properly. I don't know why it keeps changing things. One of these days I'll get a proper camera, I promise. There we go. All right. One of these days I'll be able to afford a really good expensive camera, but until then, we work with what we got. Because, there's no point in buying really expensive cameras and that sort of thing. I don't want to put myself in really financial difficulty trying to find a camera that works for this kind of video. The weird thing about it is a lot of the cameras, especially the video cameras for streaming and that sort of thing, are geared towards facial expressions, facial movements, that sort of thing, and capturing those. And it's not really geared for watching a stationary object, because you don't want it to move as your hand moves. And you don't want it to try to focus on your hand. You want it focused on the page behind you. And for some reason, they don't make very many cameras that are able to do that in a, budget-friendly camera. Though, if we keep on getting subscribers like we are and continue to blow up like we are, then I will definitely look into it further. But I have yet to find one that does what I want it to do and, doesn't cost a ton of money and is easy to use. That's another thing, is ease of use. I also don't want to have a camera that I can't use, that is difficult to use, or, has to take, 20 minutes to set up and that sort of thing. Because my husband would have to do it, and I do most of my videos while he's at work. So that is not something that is possible. Now, what I'm doing right now is I've just put the dark areas down on this little branch tree here, and I'm putting in a little bit of green in the areas around where the little branches are coming up, because where there's little branches, there's possibility of growth. So I want to put a little bit of color in there, showing that the tree is still alive. What else was, oh, that's what else I was going to talk to you guys about, is we, as you may know already, have a little bit of a contest going on the channel. It's not really a contest, more of a giveaway to people that have watched the Monday Mania, Collection Mania video, as well as the Princess Flip Through. If you leave me a comment on the Princess Flip Through of the one thing in the Collection Mania video that I used on the coloring that I did, that is not the Cezanne colored pencils. And on Friday, we will draw names from the people that have submitted those answers. And we're going to give away the Splendid Princesses coloring book. Now there it is. I put my pencil in there, and my tan pencil, and I couldn't find it. So if you have not already entered that, make sure that you enter that. Hey, DJ. How are you today, Divisa? I hope your adult child's birthday, because yeah, she's 21 now, she's an adult, went well, and everybody had a wonderful time. So I'm just going over that color again with the tan color just to lighten it up a bit and to make those darker colors a little bit more vibrant. I'm just going to add a little bit more tan to this too, just so it stands out a little bit more. Oh, that's good. I'm doing great, thank you. I have hit 300 subscribers, which is fantastic. And of course, we have a wonderful giveaway going on that you already know about because you have entered. And, just hanging out, trying to finish up this wonderful little work in progress I've got going on here. And of course, it's taking me longer than I like, but that's okay too. Got so many different works in progress going on right now, but this one I really wanted to finish up. She's turning out so pretty. Yeah, I was very, very impressed. And, well, not impressed. I was excited. This is what I was. I was extremely excited that the channel has hit that, and very what is the word I'm looking for? Grateful, extremely grateful to each and every one that has subscribed to me, because I didn't think it was possible. And for all of those wonderful people that has stood by me and given me confidence to do this, it just is wonderful. Yeah, it's coming along. It's definitely coming along. I think the lion's the best part. I'm just going to blend this together a little bit. I don't want to blend it too much. I want to leave that texture in there. Of course, when you're working with wood and rocks and things like that, there's a very different texture that you can blend out. If you blend too much, you can blend that texture out, especially on certain objects. So you have to be careful how much you blend and how much white spot you leave. I know it drives me crazy to leave white spot. It does. It is one of those things that I hate. It drives me absolutely crazy. But I have learned that there is some points and some things that you need to leave a little bit of white spot in, just so that you can have it have that texture that you want it to have, that it isn't just flat. Yeah, I know. It's just one of those things, right? It's like white spot. You got to get rid of the white spot. It looks terrible. But there are some points and sometimes that absolutely you have to have that white spot in there so that it has that texture of different furs, of different stones and trees and stuff like that. I'm horrible with that. I will blend that white spot right out. It's almost as bad as going gray, and blend that gray right out of your hair. I try to make sure the white spot is out of everything. But I have learned along my journey in coloring that sometimes you just need a little bit of that white spot to be there so that it looks natural. Otherwise, you take the natural look of it away. All right, so we're moving right along here. Now I've got the sand behind them and some wonderful little trees and this little guy here, this wonderful tree here. And then we're up into the sky and the border. Oy vey, it's going to take me forever. Like really, it's taken me 45 minutes to color 2 rocks, a piece of grass, and a stick. Yeah, this is going to be a while. All right, so we're going to take the brown. We're going to take the reddy brown first. And we're just going to go and put some lines in. And we're going to go over those lines with the dark brown. I'm just going to bring a little bit of that red into the dirt because of where the picture takes place. They have a lot of red dirt areas. Like if you watch things on Africa and the areas where you'd find lions and stuff like that, there's a lot of dirt. You know, and sometimes it's just sand, but sometimes it's just clay type dirt. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of the clay colors in that dirt. And try to stay in screen for you. Wouldn't that be nice of me? And I'm going to take the darker brown and I'm going to do a finer line through it where the black lines are and give that definition back. But I want to put basically a halo of that reddy color before I put the sand color down. Just to give it some definition, because obviously there's movement in the dirt, movement in the picture there. So all right, let's put down the dark brown. I think my cup is getting full. And I put down the dark before I put down the light because I want the light to take over that dark a little bit. I know a lot of people say don't put down your dark until you put down, until you do your light colors. I want that light to brighten that dark color up a little bit, but I still want it to be a little bit shadowy. And by doing it first before you put down that light color, it gives you that shadowy effect and then still gives you the different tones in the lighter color. I think anyway. All right. So I've put in a shadow here behind him. Now I'm not going to put a deep shadow back here because it's way back behind him. It's not right up next to him like this area here is. Just going to do the same thing here. Now there's that log is there, so I have a feeling there's a little bit more of a shadow there. And this is behind that, way behind it. And the sun is behind them, so their shadow isn't going to be cast backwards over this area. These shadows are going to be cast forward onto them. So if there's any sort of shadowing, it'll be from this or these trees or this tree here. You know, that sort of thing. It's not going to come from the main focus of the picture. So this area here is going to be shadowed by this bit of grass here. And this area is going to be shadowed by that rock. You know, it's just watching where the light source is going to be coming from and putting in your shadows in the appropriate areas, of course. You know, and sometimes in some pictures, it's really hard to do that. It all depends upon how much the artist has put into the picture to give you a light source. And this one has put a great big old sun right in the back. So you just have to follow that light source and see where it's going to take you. I'm just going to go with a bit of a lighter color here. If I can find the color I want, this one, I think. Yeah. That isn't so... it's still a little too yellow, but it's not too bad. It's not the same color as the lion. I'm trying really hard to not have the background the same color as the lion. And that's still a little bit too yellow. So let's see if we can find something that has a little bit more brown in it, but still has that tan coloring. So if we do this color, that's a little better. And then we can just add the tan color over top. And in the really shadowy areas here. Okay, yeah, see, that's not bad. That's working. That's working. We're just going to sharpen the pencil. And try not to break the pencil. I don't know why I'm not just using my sharpener. Because it shakes the camera. So, I don't know what it is with hand sharpeners and wood coated pencils, but for some reason I can't sharpen them. And I'm just putting down a coat of this color, which is a little bit of a reddy brown, a light reddy brown, almost a honey color. And then I'll put that tan color over top of it, just to give it a different blend than the lion, so they don't blend together. And I am going down into this dark area with this color, and I am putting a little bit more pressure on so that it mixes in with that color. And I won't take that tanny color into it, so it stays that darker color but blended into this lighter color. Just like that. I was hoping to have a few more visitors today. Um, if you do watch this afterwards in a recorded, once it's a recording, leave me a message in the comment section if you prefer to have it as a recording or as a live stream. And if the reason why you're not visiting while it's a live stream is because it doesn't coincide with available time, let me know, and we can work with that. Because, like I said, at where I live right now, it's only 4:30 in the afternoon, so we can definitely work with that time variance. You know, unless you're in the UK or something and you're not able to make it because it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I can definitely understand that. And I'm not going to stream at 3 o'clock in my morning. It's just not happening. Not unless you want to hear me really sleepy. I talk in my sleep, but not that much. Although my husband would disagree. He says I talk in my sleep all the time. He says I say funny things in my sleep. And then once you put all of your colors down, if you find that your darker areas still aren't dark enough for you, of course, go over them with your dark pencil. Just as long as you haven't burnished or flattened the area, you can definitely add more color. One of the things that I keep reminding people, and this is absolutely positively something you need to remember, especially if you're working with markers, is you can add color. It's more difficult to take that color away. So, if you find that you've laid down a color and it's just not the right amount of color, of course you can add to it. You can bring that color depth back up. If you find that it's too dark, you can put a light over it, a light color over it, and tone it down. However, if you've put, like a way too dark color and you can't tone it down, it's more difficult, especially with markers, with pens. You can do it with pencils by erasing a little bit and toning it down that way. However, it damages the paper. So add your colors, and if you find that they're not the right depth, add a little bit more. If you find that they're too dark, take your eraser and gently erase a bit of it or go over it with a lighter pencil. But do it in small increments. Don't shove your pencil into the paper and scrub it, because if you scrub too hard, you're going to end up with no tooth on your paper, and you're going to end up with no ability to change that coloring if you need to. One of my worst things is doing things like this where there's a huge gap or a huge difference of level between different areas, and my ability to keep them the same color. I have huge difficulties with that. Now, which one am I working with here? This one. Just like that, I will forget which pencil I need, and I know write it down, but I never do. I constantly tell myself I should really write down the colors I've used, but I don't. I never ever do. I try to remember what numbers I've used, and I put them in my bucket, and I just work with them as I go, and I try not to leave any large areas open. Like I won't leave this until this area here is completely done. Once all of the background dirt is done, then I'll leave it alone and, make dinner or whatnot and come back to it. But I won't leave the areas unfinished, because if I do and I come back to it tomorrow, I'm not going to remember what I've colored that with. And I just can't bring myself to write these things down. I don't know why. I just never could. And I am so envious of those of you that can, because it probably makes things so much easier for you to make sure that everything is unified, you know. Of course, I am coloring dirt, and dirt is never unified. I know this, but it would make it so much easier if I would just, bite the bullet and write down my colors. But that would just not be me. I just don't know why. I just find it very difficult to do. Now I've added a bit of red, like I did here for these lines, into this area here, because there's a large tree formation there that is going to be shadowing that area. So I've added that shadow in. And I'm just going over it gently with the two other pencils, the lighter colored pencils, till I have the same uniformity of the light colors between the two dirts. Now I'm throwing things around. It's all good. All right. Okay, so just getting that coloration to be different than the lion, because I don't want this to look like it's a part of this. So I need to make sure that this is a completely different color than that, without making it a completely different color than the rest of the dirt behind us here. And I could have done this as green rolling hills, but you have to look at the structure of the page, and that just wouldn't have fit. I could have made it fit, but it just wouldn't have. And like I said, you can definitely, put whatever you want there. If you wanted it to have rolling hills, of course you could put rolling hills in it and do it as a green lustrous, luscious. There we go. Yeah, if my mouth would ever work, right? Green, luscious, rolling hills in the jungle. But I have a vision in my brain of where this took place, and once it gets in there, it has to be done. It's like, when you see a fairy princess on a staircase, you can see the colors of the marble under her feet. You can see, the different tones, depending upon whether or not you want it to be a night or a day picture. You can see all sorts of things in your mind's eye. And, if you change that halfway through, your brain goes, yeah. Well, I know mine does anyway. I don't know if anybody else's does, but mine does. My brain goes, yeah, no, don't do that. Don't change halfway through. But there are also some pictures I envision, and the way that I've envisioned them is just not right for the picture, or I've missed something when I look at the picture and have to change halfway through because I realize that my vision was flawed because I missed something. I do that all the time. Hi there. Thank you for joining. I didn't see you there, Dee Dee. Sorry. I was concentrating, talking to myself. Well, I was talking to whoever was listening, basically. I've gotten pretty good at it. Thank you very much. I am very proud of this one. This one is taken me a couple of days to do, but it's the first ever dark skin tone I've done, and I think she turned out pretty good, even with all the different changes. Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad you guys are listening. I'm just babbling along here. And like I said, of course, a lot of people watch this later on as a recording. And if you do watch this later on as a recording and you prefer it in a recording format, let me know. We don't have a lot of people that show up for my Wednesday work in progress days. So if it's something that it has to do with scheduling or anything like that, let me know in the comment section. And of course, scheduling and stuff like that, I can change. So sometimes it's just people aren't being informed of when they go live or when my videos are going through. And I found out from YouTube that there is actually a little button that you have to hit in order to receive all of the notifications. It's not just the bell. There's actually another part that has to be activated on your account previous to ringing any bells. If it's not active, you're not going to get any of your notifications from any of the bells that you have rung. Oh dear, what's going on with Nightbot? Hold on a second, Dee Dee. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's doing that. Why is Nightbot censoring your messages? Because they're not bad. I'm going to put Nightbot out. Oh. Okay, so yeah, it's the caps. You have either cap locks on or something, and Nightbot really doesn't like caps. caps. I don't know why. It just throws a hissy fit at caps. I'm really sorry. Yeah, it is very capital sensitive. I'm going to throw Nightbot in a timeout if it keeps doing that. I've actually even told it to stop doing that, but for some reason it really doesn't like caps. So I watched the skin video. Oh, that's very cool. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. Yeah, it's a matter of shadowing and all that fun stuff. And like I said, this is the very first time I've ever done skin tones. So yeah, sometimes it doesn't like emojis as well. Yeah, absolutely. Or if you say something over and over again, it really hates that. But unfortunately, with the way YouTube is and with some of the things that people say on my videos in comments that I have sent to my spam protection, I'm going to keep Nightbot. Some of the things are just not very nice at all, and I don't want to subject you guys to it whatsoever. And sometimes they can get pretty dirty and not at all nice, and definitely not meant for coloring. That's for sure. You know, I run an adult coloring channel. I don't run an adult quote unquote channel. You know, some of the pictures I color are a little risque, but not that risque, you know, kind of thing. Okay, so we've got the background done and we've got the foreground done here, and I've just got the trees and the sky and of course the edges to do. I'm going to switch you over to the other camera here. We have been going for an hour, so I'm going to say thank you for watching, and I'm going to switch you on over to the other camera and turn off this light so that you guys can see. I don't know where that light's coming from. It must be coming from... Yes, exactly. Some people have way too much time on their hands. All right, 1 second. I'm just going to turn on the kitchen light because the light from my computer is a little too bright for it and it's washing it out. So okay, that's a little better. And I'm not quite sure how to help you with that. Sorry about that. Alexa is having issues. So we've got this area all the way down done. So I'm going to call it good for now, and I'm going to finish up the trees and the sky and the sun and the edging, and I will definitely post this in our Facebook group. So if you do find that you are not a member of our Facebook group, please do join us there. Every time I do a picture, whether it's on Work in Progress Wednesday, Tips and Tricks Tuesday, or Saturday Color and Chat, there's different albums that are in the Facebook group that I put those pictures completed in. So, of course, you can find us on the banner of my YouTube channel. There should be a little tiny Facebook icon there. Just click on that and it should take you to our channel. And, you know, of course, fill out the application and we will be happy to get you in there. Thank you so much for watching, Dee Dee. I do appreciate that you came in to visit. I do hope that you were working on a Wednesday work in progress as well, and hopefully you got a little bit done. If not, then I hope that by Saturday Color and Chat, you'll be back, and hopefully it'll be all finished by then, the same as this one. Of course, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, of course, like, comment, and subscribe. When you subscribe to the channel, ring the bell and make sure that all your YouTube notifications are active. If you, I was just going to say that if you don't have YouTube notifications active in your own profile, ringing the bell on any videos or anybody else's channel isn't going to give you that notification. I think that's why some of my subscribers haven't been getting their notifications, because they have it turned off so that YouTube doesn't send them notifications. So if that is turned off, unfortunately, you're not going to get the notifications from ringing the bell. And most importantly of all, of course, is to relax, color, and stay safe. I hope that your Afghan is all finished by the next time we see you. And if you are actually in our Facebook channel, Dee Dee, I would love to see it. If you want to post a picture of it for me, that'd be fantastic. I love Afghans. They're so comfy. I can't do one whatsoever, but I do like them. With that, thank you all very much for joining me. And of course, thank you very much for watching the recording. And like I said, if you have any comments or any suggestions on whether or not you prefer it in a video format where it's recorded and you can just watch it whenever, or if you prefer it in the live format where you can come and chat with me and have a conversation while I'm doing some coloring, let me know. And if it's an issue where the time that I put it up is a little bit too early or a little bit too late, let me know with that as well. Absolutely. I hope it turns out to be a wonderful Afghan. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. You have a fantastic day and a wonderful evening, and we will see you tomorrow for Thankful Thursday. All right, bye-bye, guys.